We in this thing, man. What's happening, people? For the playback people, as you know, I'm live streaming. I was gonna say I go live streaming, but that's not the formula of the sentence I wanted to say. Let me click the go live on TikTok. We're gonna type a title in. We'll say Indians in Oklahoma. If you're watching the playbacks, go a few minutes ahead. Go live. And here we go. All right. Live on both, live on all four. Nobody cares about Facebook. Neither do I. We'll see how many people I get in here. I do know it's the I do know it's the what do you call it? Super Bowl. I do know it's the Super Bowl, so I don't expect to get a bunch of people up in here, but it'll be here for the playback for those who want to watch it back. Let me just double check my audio on the YouTube world side of the game. And we're gonna get into this game. It's the what do you call it? Super Bowl. I do know it's there you go. Yeah, it's cool. I swear it still be kind of clipping. But what's happening, crew out? I know hopefully I ain't tying you away from the game. You can always watch this back afterwards. But we're definitely gonna get into some game. We're gonna get into some game here today. Uh, what we have here, as you see in front, already on the screen, is an interview with a person called Ali Statham, and I have to give a thanks to a certain person for sending this post to me. This is him, Canary Kano. Canary Kano, man, appreciate it. I'll drop his info a few times during this live stream because he sent this to me. And so I'm like, okay, let me listen. And when I listened, it was amazing. What's up? I feel better about this. Lewis the third, what's happening? Yeah, we just getting started. We just getting started. And yeah, the person whose Twitter I have Canary Kano, he is the one that sent me the video of the interview we're gonna listen to today. This guy right there. And I'm just being extra since I have, control and it looks cool now. And I got my little background up there now. I'm just being extra. So yeah, we're gonna get into this game. I'm gonna start playing. Hopefully the audio sounds decently amplified on you all's end. Let me see if I can adjust it because it's kind of it's not that low, but it's an old interview, so and it doesn't allow me to adjust the volume no more on it. So hopefully it comes through okay. Now we're gonna get started. Now, well, let me kind of just give you an idea a little bit here. So say hit the like button, keep up the excellent work, bro. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Much love, Louis the Third. He said, "What up, boss? I ain't worried about the Super Bowl. I'm a Raiders fan, and they trash right now. I feel you, man. I already feel you. I already feel you 100%. Yeah, man. Uh, one of my homegirls said she was asking me if I was gonna watch the game. Uh, we'll see. I'm not gonna be on live stream forever, and I know it's just kind of getting started, so we'll see if I catch a little end of it. But to be honest, it's whatever. Said the video seems clear on my side. All right, cool. Hopefully, let's see. Hopefully, the audio is cool. I'm gonna play some of the audio here, and we're kind of gonna get started listening through the audio as we play this back. Hopefully, I don't get no strikes on YouTube for this, but it should be fair use. It's about to get louder. What's up, Nikki? Much love to the Nikki out to the Nikki to Nikki out there, the amazing Nikki. How you doing this afternoon? What is it? I've been hey, look, it got busy. We car detail company got so dang busy, man. So me and my detail has been running ragged after the snow messed up everybody's cars, and now we got a bunch of days full of full of sun. Now everybody's all over the place, you know. But I appreciate you. Good to see you, Nikki, like always. Said I'm happy to see you. Appreciate that. Sounds good. Yeah. Oh, sounds good. Cool, 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 cool. I'm gonna play this and we're gonna go through it and then I might restart it if the numbers not if but when the numbers get high. But that way we're not lagging. Okay. Oh, you said the video. Okay, I'm about to play it again. Here, let me play it here, Louis. So this is a lady, and she said, "Oh, you was outside too." uh, man, it be busy, and I was mad that I didn't. I really wanted to live stream this last night. You will still get people on here saying they just gave it to her. I hate that. What's up, Angie? You say you still get people on here saying they just gave it to her. I hate that. I don't know what you mean. You will still get people on here saying they just gave it to her. Uh, I don't know what you mean by that. But you said it's super low. Okay, we're gonna play it a little bit longer. I think it gets a little louder, and if it doesn't, then I'll repeat what she says. I know it's gonna be kind of hard, but I won't play the whole thing. If it's gonna be like that the whole time, I won't play the whole thing. Then or you know what? I'm an audio engineer. Let me see if I can download this. If it allow me to download this, I could if it allows me. Otherwise, I may have to screen record it. Let me see. I could import this into like my let me see if this download works. It says it's downloading. I might be able to import this into my Final Cut Pro, throw a bunch of compression in and all that, and heighten up the audio real quick. All right, it says it downloaded. Let me see. Give me just a moment. You can hear it well, Nikki. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for a moment, and then I'm gonna come back and y'all let me know while I'm still gonna go back and try to up the audio. Hold on 1 second. It's clear, okay, because YouTube just bullshitted me. It's clear. Okay. Okay, cool. It might be harder to hear the guy because he is in the background than it is to hear her. It seems like the microphone is on her. So he so far asked her what her name was. Her last name was Statham. She lives in Indian, she is from Indian Territory. And she said something about somebody with the last name Brashears. And I've heard of some Brashears. So we're gonna go back through. We're gonna play. Let me get off of here. I was like, why do I got this open? All right, we're gonna play it, and then I'm gonna. Oh yeah, that's what's up. I can do that. We're gonna play it, and then I'm going to pull up some docs with us too. Your daughter has the Statham's in her tree. Ah, that's what's up. And Angie said she can hear too. Okay, that's what's up. He said, "Was both of your parents from Indian territory?" She said, "Yes." I was unsure yet when I first started listening to this what race is this person? We know that they're gonna say that she's a Indian, but we're gonna keep listening. But we'll figure it out as we listen. Now that's wild. He said, "Have you heard or did you see the Trail of Tears?" She's in Indian Territory, Oklahoma. She was like, "Nah." She heard people saying they went to go see some in Tahlequah. That makes you think. That really makes you wonder, what is this Trail of Tears? Because also in my ancestors' information, say audio is super low on the video, but you can hear, but your voice audio is coming in loud and clear. You know what? Let me point it this way. I'm gonna point my mic this way. Uh, YouTube is. I thought the audio would have been coming through here. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, y'all. Cause it's screen sharing. It's screen sharing, but let me see if it downloaded the audio. Maybe I need the actual full audio clip. Maybe the screen share is not playing the audio. I thought it played the audio for it before. You say, yeah, it might be a YouTube thing. Let me just look at one other thing, and if so, it might be because they saying it. It's wild because they say they can hear pretty good on TikTok, but they hear. I don't know how TikTok is hearing it, to be honest, because TikTok Studio is picking it up somehow. I got too many things going because I got Restream going for three other apps, and then I got TikTok Studio going for TikTok. I got all my audio going through Restream, and then TikTok has its own audio inputs. I'm all over the place. Typically, I thought I downloaded this. Let me go to YouTube. Let me do one more thing, and because I do want my YouTube folks to be able to hear this. Let's see. Let me go to my downloads. It didn't download. It just man, free YouTube video downloader. Anybody used to use those? It's been a minute. Free, and you know they're gonna send you all kind of bullshit. Hold on, let me try this real quick. See if it'll let me download the actual video file. Interview, transcribe. See, it's got so many damn links. Audio, interview, download. Hold on, y'all. Give me one more second. One more second. I might have it. Let's see. Download. All right, now I'm getting the actual download. I got to go through the back door. Nah, that's what she said. But uh okay. Now I got the download. Now let me just see if I can play the download. We're gonna see if the download itself plays okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. What is that on the screen on my damn? What you call it? Sorry, y'all. Hold on, let me get that off of there. Get this off of here. Y'all saw everything I just did over there. That's what's up, TikTok. Uh, okay, all right. So now let me get rid of this. Remove. Let me add in the file. Direct. All right. All right. So we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna move forward a little bit. And YouTube, Louis, let me know what how y'all hearing it and everything like that. Everybody on the TikTok side, they can hear it pretty good. So we're gonna start here, y'all. All right. Let me bring this back over. Where did window go? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. That's wrong. Wrong. Need that. Wait a minute.
The Trail of Tears removal from Mississippi here.
No, I never have heard the real story. I've just heard people talk that have been to the and seen the Trail of Tears at Tahlequah.
Mm-hmm. Um, are you related to Daniel Folsom and David Folsom?
Yes.
What's your relationship to them?
What's up, Indigenous American? Appreciate that, Angie. All right. He just asked him, "Are you related to some Folsoms?" Now, some of these people he's talking about, I believe they are some of the old chiefs. I think she's Choctaw Chief list. So he's asking about the Folsoms, Isaac Folsom, I think. You got Thomas LaFour, Nathaniel Folsom, Peter Folsom. He's asking about the Folsoms, and he's going to be asking about the McCurtains and some Folsoms. And you can see these are. Let's see if we can see any of them. This asshole. Let's see. Let's see. A Cole, McCurtains. 1868 McCurtains. He might be asking about these McCurtains or the ones prior. Well, no, it's probably these because this interview is pretty, like, she probably was on the tail end of the 1800s. So it could be any of these McCurtains right here, to be honest. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. What's up, wise one? What's happening, man? But she does say some interesting stuff. She's gonna give us eyewitness account on when she was in school and how many Indians she seen of full blood and how black they were. I'm gonna just spoil it, but look, just stay tuned. About 9 minutes in, it's gonna get real. It's interesting, the whole thing. So we're gonna go through it. Let's go. You said FBA on top number one. Somebody these FBAs are so hurt. They just keep following me on YouTube and say FBA we number one. That's all they got. They can't come and prove nothing. They can't come show nothing. They can't come and do any actual scholarship or any work. They just come through and chant real quick. Tariq, we love him. All right, get your ass out of here. All right, let's keep going.
Well, Colonel David Folsom was my third grandfather. My grandfather was Albert Key Folsom, and his father was Nathaniel Folsom. Then comes in Colonel David.
Mm-hmm. Um, can you give me a little bit of history in the Folsom family? Just what you've heard about them.
Well, our daddy's father was a deputy sheriff of Indian Territory between Fort Smith and Indian Territory.
What was his name?
Albert Key Folsom.
So she's a Folsom, she said, and she said her people were one of her Folsoms was deputy sheriff. So this is George Folsom is so far is the first Folsom I see on the list going far back. Before you go further back, there's several more Folsoms, but that's just to kind of get an idea on what you say. So my great grandmother Lucy was born in 1879, and I knew her. She died in 1976. Wow, man, and that's one thing, what's up, Cyberborn? That's one thing you'll notice is these people lived a decently long time. When you do your genealogy, you'll notice that people you say you think you just notice somebody, you'll notice that people even back then, and when you think times are supposed to be so hard, they were still living like 80, 90, 100 years old. You know what I'm saying? Africans still can't figure out how to live past 22 or whatever it is. Niggas been over here living forever for ages. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, but let's keep going.
grandfather was Albert Key Folsom, and his father was Nathaniel Folsom. Then comes in Colonel David.
So she knew a few generations back. Nathaniel Folsom, David Folsom, Nathaniel. Let me see if I see any Nathaniel Folsom right there. Anybody else? That at least gives some oh, that at least gives us a time frame on what she's talking about. So she can remember somewhat up, or at least some people between 1842 to 1846. Now, at her age, she probably wasn't she that dude might have been like old by the time, and not in office as a chief by that time, but she at least knew him or whatever. So, or maybe not around. She just knew her. Maybe this her great granddaddy, and she knew of him a little something. So, let's keep going.
Um, can you give me a little bit of history in the Folsom family?
You said all immigrants home 2026, Africans, Native Americans, Caribbean, all home alone with a man named Haliko Hill, definitely a cosplayer that's offended by FBA. All y'all could talk about is tellers. Y'all the most lamest motherfuckers on this app at this point. Do y'all know how lame that's gonna get after a while? Talking shit about Caribbeans and Africans. Now don't get me wrong, talking shit about Africans, I can do that for a while. But I gotta get away from that. Who wants to do that every day? And there's so much so that you so butthurt you got to come into other people's chat to go off about people who don't like y'all going off about Africans and not pulling up the facts. Because how about you don't ask Afro Elite how come he doesn't read the actual Dred Scott case like Samuel Haliko Hill did? Like, wouldn't that make sense? To be like, man, why don't you actually read the case? How come you don't ask Tariq? How come you trying to contribute indigo to African slavery instead of contributing it to the 6,000 year history that has been here in America? I don't worry about all that because you like to get your history from somebody who doesn't like to dig into history. And I understand when you get your history from somebody who won't dig further back than 1870, you get limited, right? Now, see, the people in our chat, the people on our motherfucking lines, they look way past that. You know what I'm saying? That they're very learned folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't just come in here chanting shit. FBA on top. They don't come in here. American Indian. I've never seen anybody say American Indian is number one. I've never seen anybody to this day. As much pride as we have on our shit, as much and as hard as we go, I've never seen this chant little stupid shit. American Indians are nothing else. American Indians are the way. That's about as y'all sound like a goddamn broken Eminem rap song. You know what I'm saying? That's all. He's a chant rapper. That's all he does is come up with chants and repeat the same shit and name drop after that. That's really all. That's all Eminem does. But anyways, I'm gonna get off of you. We gotta stay on the game because we do things over here. You know what I'm saying? We actually learn and we dig into history in real time. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Hitch? Indigo is definitely Mayan culture. Which is our culture, which is all of us. Not all of us. A lot of us, a lot of our tribes come from that. Which that's amazing. I'm glad you said that. Los was doing a live stream today, and he was talking about the word the it was like Shani or Shani, and it's like a word, some kind of Mayan where I forgot. I done forgot that part because I came in on the tail end of that part, but that's when I got into the live, and then he started talking about like the words that we use that are similar to it. Like we'll name a girl Shanice, and he named another thing, but I was like, what about the Shawnee Indians? And we were like, does that tie back into that Mayan word that he was talking about? And I forgot that he was talking about the Creek Indians when he was mentioned. He's like, yeah, the Creek Indians had this, the blah blah blah, and the Choctaw thing. And I was like, well, the Creeks are Shawnees and Uchis. So you see these names and words really reutilized in our culture. Like they tried to get rid of our culture. That's one thing he was talking about, and that's one thing I've noticed. They try hard to get rid of our culture through mission schools, through propaganda, through paper genocide, through all these other things, right? and we are still doing everything like we did before. So yeah, no, yeah, that's what's up. I'm about to get back to this. What's up, Badu? What's happening with you? So yeah, let's get back to this interview. So Nathaniel Folsom this is the time frame, okay? So let's keep going.
family.
You know that FBA dude still in here lurking. I do want to leave. I don't like this. I mean, I don't like this nigga, but I don't want to leave. That's what I meant to say. I don't like this nigga, but I don't want to leave because he really got some game. Yeah, yeah. Stay your stupid ass in here, okay? You gonna take this shit back to Tariq. I heard him in there talking about this shit, Tariq. All right, let me get off this. All right, let's go.
Just what you've heard about him.
Well,
She's pausing, but yeah, I do got a fan on on the YouTube side. He over there probably still lurking.
my daddy's father was a deputy sheriff of Indian
I know Carmen. She said, "Let him learn something."
Territory between Fort Smith and Indian Territory.
What was his name?
Albert Key Folsom.
Same
And sorry, Carmen, I meant to say hi to you. How you doing this evening?
as your father,
No, my father's Albert Peter now,
Albert P.
and Albert Key is my grandfather.
Oh
his father.
God.
Albert T. Folsom.
Let's give him. Look. We gonna give him 5 minutes, Mister. Give me 5 minutes. We gonna give him 5 minutes, and nothing more, because I gotta teach.
I know, just real quick. I ain't trying to divert because I'm listening. I'm not gonna listen to you. But somebody I was talking to the other day, they told me you are a Colbert. Yes or no?
No. So Thomas Love married a Colbert, Sally Colbert, and he also married Imahota Hash.
You a Colbert, nigga. You my motherfucking cousin this whole time. I'm getting
There's no Colberts on my line. I come from the line of nine that, sir. No, sir, that we wouldn't have had the same blood. No, we wouldn't have the same blood
So you're not on the tree nowhere. You ain't on the tree nowhere.
because we didn't come from those Colberts.
Who is the Colbert? Who is the Colbert? Who is the main big
We came from the Love. We got Love blood and Hosh blood. We don't have Colbert blood, sir.
I come from the love.
The Love may have gotten in the Colberts. The Love may have gotten in the Colberts, and you came from that side, but I don't come from that side. Let me show you the side I come from.
Who you come from?
I'll show you.
See. No, start from James Logan Colbert, nigga. Because if you from James Logan Colbert,
Nobody's from James Logan Colbert on my tree, sir. That's the wackest nigga on the planet.
how?
The wackest cracker on the planet. Love, Thomas Love is who I go back to, and it goes back to William Esquire, which was a knight. Esquire means knight. Imahota Love, Ali Kohio Hash. My Indian comes off of Ali Kohio. Who's
Colbert connection up?
your Colberts? You still talking about Americans? Where is your Indian connection, nigga? I got the Ali Kohio. Thomas Love ain't got shit to do with the Indian, right? Neither does the Colbert.
I ain't got no love in my tree.
But Thomas Love is a white man. Thomas Love is a white man, and the Colberts are white folks, right? Why are you proud of these white folks? Why are you proud of these white folks? Why are you proud of your white folks? He's trying to troll guys because he came in here gloating about the white folks on his tree. I got James Logan Colbert. I got Levi Colbert. Ain't no Colberts right there on my tree. That blood got into you. That agent blood got into you. I don't know what you talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna show you King Blue. I'll show you King Blue. Now, when I show you King Blue, I'm gonna let you do that when you get off here. But I want to just show you real quick, King Blue. What do it say? Make it big so they can see it too.
Give me a second.
I ain't bullshit. Oh, you can't see it. They can't see it. You show it. You show it. You got all this fancy shit.
I see it. King Blue's followers on a marauding tour, terrorizing the Chickasaw Nation.
What do it say? It say Negro Indian on rebellions. Negro Indians.
Yeah, why wouldn't they rebel?
Don't try to twist and spin it now.
What do you mean? They took a bunch of us up to Oklahoma as kids. They took a bunch of us up to Oklahoma as women and children. Why wouldn't they get older and start whooping ass?
So now you related to King. Now you going to claim King Blue.
No, I don't know nothing about a king.
Don't tell my granddaddy like that.
I don't know nothing about a King Blue, but I can see some black Negro Indians fighting back, and they putting that in the paper. Negro Indians is coming at their ass. Yeah. I don't understand what you're trying to say. How is that disproving black Indians?
It's not disproving black Indians. Like what you try to do is like you got an ancestry, so you try to take it and spin it on the people. Like don't spin it on people. To tell the truth, bro. There's some black people. It was one drop rule going on. There was a lot of bullshit going on. But if you fight the checkerboard fight, that's not moving forward. The real fight is that 1866 treaty.
Sir, I have a literal.
It's written in stone already.
I have a literal mixed families.
You want to play black, white? That ain't what's really important.
I have literal mixed families.
1866 treaty. You fighting the wrong fight. You trying to like, come on, man.
I have literal. Yeah, just let him go. He ain't gonna let me talk. I have literal mixed family. He wasn't gonna let me talk. What up, though? Much appreciate speaking truth. Appreciate you, Lady Lisa Sullivan. Appreciate you coming up in here. What up, good Alan Prince? Appreciate you coming up in here. Drive how he goes from the panel to panel. I already know. That's why comprehension means everything. Exactly. I'm like, I don't know why you bragging to me about the Cobra side. Not that I hating on the Cobra side at all, because some people that come from Cobra ain't horrible, but I don't know, man. Some of y'all tend to, I don't know, maybe y'all went through them people that mixed out the wrong way. Maybe like, I say that because I know Nikki come from Sloan. Nikki got some people. No, her daughter comes from Sloan. But just to throw her under the bus real quick, but just because of that don't mean that the Sloans went Sloan went to a YTs after that. He might have went to the blacks. But some of them folks went to them whites after that. I think that's what happened. Like, I think that's where he comes from. I think he's like a recent mix. Like, he's one of them super pale Indians, and she got with a nigga. And now that's what made him. Luckily, she got with a freedman, and he just don't know which way to go. Right? Yeah, is it a freedman or is it the pale face real one? Is it the pale face with the fake paperwork, or is it the one that they said he was a freedman slave African? Yeah, I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm a mixed kid, and I don't even understand who I am mentally already. So I understand. It happens that way. You know, them mixed kids. You know what I'm saying? When you got that recent mix, it's a different thing. You done mixed it out. Like my people, they done mixed. If Thomas Love even mixed in, if the YT Thomas Love even mixed in, if he was even YT, they mixed him the hell on out. But like them recent mixes, you know, like they mom and dad was just, you know what I'm saying? They look crazy. You know, they don't know which way they want to go. You know, what side of the fence they want to be on. Am I black? They don't like me. Am I white? They don't like me. Oh, where are my mixed friends? They send me in the natives. Getting clowned from both sides. I understand. You can't find no safe haven. Ain't that a bitch? Can't find no safe haven. All right, y'all. We're going to get back to the game. We're going to get back to this game, man. Hold on. Let me pull this back up. Okay, where we are. All right. YouTube over there. Whack is cracking. That's some awesome getting to him for a punk band. I hope y'all can hear him pretty good, too. All right, let's go.
And he was a deputy sheriff?
Yes.
Did he work
way
under...
back in Indian Territory time.
Did he work under Isaac Parker?
Well, he worked during Ira Parker's time, I know that. But I don't know whether he was under him or not. And they lived over here at Scuttleville, just out of Spiro.
What up, Catnap Man? Now she said they lived over here in Scuttleville, just outside of Spiro. Now I got also some people on my tree somewhere right here, Spiro. As y'all can see right there. Yep, close enough. There you go. Spiro, LaFleur County. Notice LaFleur County, but Spiro. So LaFleur County, those counties. You know, I ain't gonna get into that because I got to double check that. I was gonna try to liken them to parishes, but that's different. I believe that's gonna be different. But Spiro, and Spiro is where you have Spiral Mounds. For those who don't know, just so I can show Spiro Mounds. I should have knew that wasn't gonna do that. Spiro. So Spiro Mounds is in Oklahoma, and she's gonna give us some information about Spiro Mounds too. Tell us. I wanted to see the top part of it. I thought it was like a snake. I thought it was a snake shaped mound, but I guess it's just a what you call it mound. Spiral Archaeological Center. Okay. Maybe the snake one that I'm thinking of is different. But long story short, it's a really, really old prehistoric, as they say here, prehistoric area in Oklahoma. So yeah, this is what she's gonna be talking about. So let's keep it on. Let's keep it on over here. Let me go back here.
Did you know him? Albert T. Folsom?
No. No, I'm not quite that far back.
Yeah. And what did your father say about him? Did your father talk about any stories that he told?
No, he didn't. Papa was just a young boy whenever grandfather died. Was killed, rather.
Where was he killed?
On the line between Arkansas and Indian Territory. Somebody shot him, and they think Green McCurtain did it. Green McCurtain wanted him to do something that wasn't right, and grandfather wouldn't do it, so he sneakily shot him, is what they say.
Now it makes me wonder who her grandfather was. So from what she said was her grandfather was pew-pewed in the head, or she didn't say that part, but pew-pewed, and she thinks sneakily, as she said, by Mr. McCurtain, which was one of the chiefs, which was one of those YT chiefs. So it makes me wonder, is she a mixed Choctaw? And a slightly mixed out, like a fourth or an eighth, and that was going on. There were several people who were an eighth or a 16th and stuff like that. Now I know that through let me see if I can pull it up. Overton Love Dolls Rolls card. Should have knew we weren't gonna do that. I don't know why I didn't pull it up. I had it before. I had it saved. And I probably got it saved somewhere on my computer. But Overton Love, it was either Overton or it was under his dad name. Now that's a Freeman. Whatever. Either way, I'd have to find his in particular. It might be on my computer. Let me just double check one spot. If not, whatever. But long story short, some of the loves that had mixed, they was already like an 8th to a 16th or so mixed out. by the time the Dawes Rose Commission came through. So it really makes me wonder what her age might really be during this time. And I'm just kind of curious about it. And in my love folder, Chickasaw loves. That's Bill Loves. I'm about to say, yeah, I got it right here. Oh, no, that's Bill Loves. Okay, no, I don't have it. I don't have it. Okay, let's keep going.
And they're both buried over at Scuttleville Cemetery.
When was he killed?
Oh my goodness. I know I've heard.
Do you have any stories of Daniel Folsom or David Folsom?
What about the David you're talking about? Do
This
you
is
know?
Colonel David Folsom.
Well, Colonel David was my great grandfather's father, and he was killed in the Civil War. They were both young men whenever they went to war, and they were both young when they were killed.
Which
But I
battle?
don't know much about it. None of them were just hearsay from people.
Which battle were they killed in? Do you know?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
What kind of work did your father do?
He was a farmer and a ranchman.
So I want y'all to take note. Her father and her grandfather was unalived in the Civil War. They're in Oklahoma, so that told me she was either an orphan or she had her mom with her, and it was just women and children. Which I've heard that same thing in my situation with my loves. The story goes that's written in the love genealogy book that Imahota went up to Oklahoma with William Samuel Love together. Apparently, all her children, other children, had already moved away, but they went up there alone. Thomas Love was already unalive by this time. Thomas Love had unalive. I got to go see, but it was either during that Civil War too, or just right after it, some of the sort. So something happened that caused many of these children to have to go there. A different story is up here as Mr. Chief Watkins. He was still alive when Jake was in Oklahoma, but for some reason they were still in Oklahoma, and Chief Watkins wrote a letter trying to get them out. And we may go through that letter toward the end of this. It was like a group letter, but there's these people who are going to Oklahoma from my family without their parents, or just without their parents or without their father, and it's just a mother and a child. Don't get me wrong, there might be some people that went together with whole families. I'm just saying, take note of that.
Had 1,600 acres of land.
What up, Chris?
Just raised everything imaginable and had all kind of stock.
What did you do in the ranch as a little girl? What kind of chores?
So, what's your problem with FEA? Do you not like being considered black at all? When you do your history, you will not claim FBA no more either. Let me just throw that out there. I'm gonna continue on with this.
What, my daddy?
No, you.
Oh my goodness, we done everything a man done. We worked in the field. We went to school all the time, but we come home, we knew what we had to do. We dressed and went to the field. Mom always had a sandwich and glass of milk or what we wanted. Then to the field we went and worked. We chopped cotton and corn. We gathered cotton, broke corn, helped work in the hail, milk cattle, churn,
Ever
took
do
care
any
of
plowing?
chickens. Do what?
Ever do any plowing?
Did you say if you ever make any flour?
No, did you plow?
Yes, and I could harrow too.
Did
I
you
never-
plow?
It's about to get good. It's about 6-7 minutes in. She's about to get to the school part. She's just talking about the things they used to do at the on the land.
Go ahead.
Yes, I could plow and I could harrow. Take preacher horses to harrow.
What's up, Rich?
Put 2 or 3 boards on there and put a bunch of kids on it, to hold the dirt down. Go on there. We had lots of fun that last work.
Did you plow with horses or mules?
Horses. In Papa's last year, he bought a team of mules, but before that, he always had horses.
Which were better to plow with, horses or mules?
Oh, horses.
How come?
Well, it just seemed like they understand you better, and they're not so frisky, and I don't know. They're just better to drive to a wagon or anything than a mule, I think.
How much cotton could you pick in a day?
Not very much.
He said, "How much cotton can you pick in a day?" She said, "Not very much." What color you think she is? We're gonna keep going.
I might matter. Maybe 200 or 300 pounds all day long. Pitiful. I never could pick cotton. I never could pick up potatoes. That's two I couldn't do.
You ever pull bowls?
Goodness, yes. Whew. There was nothing we couldn't do.
Where was the gin located?
Well, I'll tell you, there wasn't very many gins then. And I can remember when I was 15 years old. But before that, I guess the nearest gin, oh, I don't know. I guess Fort Smith was the nearest gin we had. I know the farmers would help each other take the cotton to the gins to have
Cotton gin.
it taken care of. And there'd be 20 to 30 wagons go. Just have 3 or 4 just piled as high as the sideboard was allowed to use. And it'd take 2 or 3 days to go there and get them all ginned up and come back home. Then they'd buy groceries and buy clothes and shoes and everything we needed. Things were scarce them days. But
Where was your
What's up, American Ancestry Dakota? I see you over there on YouTube. I didn't even notice that. That's what's up. They said Whack is Cracker. That's a awesome. Good name for a punk band. I just seen that.
allotment?
well, I had some in Paws Valley, Oklahoma, way off out west, on the Panhandle. And then Papa had us all about 60 acres close to home.
Do you remember when the Dawes Commission came through doing the surveys?
Yes, I remember, but I don't know anything about it. My daddy worked with them a lot. And other people would. They'd leave home with a suitcase, dressed to go, and they walked. Somebody'd be driving a wagon, pick them all up and take them all together, and they'd be gone maybe 3 or 4 days, and then they'd come back home, put everybody to work on the farm like he wanted them to, and go again.
What did your father do with the Dawes Commission?
He was the youngest senator during the Indian Territory time. He began when he was 21 years old.
I bet I can find him. That would probably be sometime around the time of the general laws of the Chickasaw legislator. It's got so many things. I don't know where the hell to go no more. Bookmarks, favorites. Can I search? General laws. Damn it. General laws of the Chickasaw legislature, 1865. It's like, man, sometimes just saving the shit don't even do me no justice when I can Google it sometimes faster. But for those who've seen this document, this comes out Coincidentally, after they off the niggas out of the tribe, 1867. 1866 is when they wrote the treaties that pretty much started throwing in African language. 1867, they completely started a whole nother legislator. Not really like that. I mean, it's been going, but they got a document for it. I was trying to find the ones before, and I may go need to look even further. What's up, Alicia Faye? Appreciate that. Much love to you. Thank you. How you doing this Super Bowl day? Appreciate the gifts. All like always. So yeah, but when I showed people this, I was showing how these people are down here. And down here, we're probably gonna see some Folsoms. Let me see. Perry Kemp, Love, McGee, Burris, Johnson, Roy. Some of my folks, Colberts, some of my people are in here, or people with our last name, so to speak. Most of these would be YT folks, right? Because as we've seen also around this same time, the 1890 census, it was 107,000 YT folks. Here we go. Here's some tubbies and some what you got. You know, I don't see no Folsoms, huh? Or no so he may not have, he may have either been before or after this. Her folks, Anderson, Washington, Pearson, Mosley, Kemps, stuff like that. It shows this is 1867. Maybe it was after. Maybe it was after. Maybe the person she's talking about, he was senator afterwards. But yeah. These are your people who pretty much came in and corrupted it. And there was another thing I was gonna show. Oh yeah. So same thing too. Around that time, for those who haven't seen, many of us have. When you look at the 5 civilized tribes census, now that's the whole thing. That's the extended, which is hella papers, hella pages, I should say. Not that, and that's the one I was actually looking for earlier. Here we go. This is the condensed version, 1890 census, okay, for the 5 civilized tribes. And coming down here, I'll swap this for a quick second. Coming down here, you'll notice that the total population at this time was 178,000. Out of that, 109,000 of them were white claimants. Okay, they made up the bulk. So this lady is likely YT. She's likely super highly mixed out YT with an Indian Negro in her, slightly super highly mixed out, but she might have some Siberian and some Siberians, or we can give them real names now. Some Hawaiians, some Lascars, some Chinese, some Malays. They had all kind of shit over here. Okay, uh, as we've seen. So let's keep going and listen to what else she says. But she likely comes from these folks. Let's keep going.
And until the Indian Territory became the state of Oklahoma, that was back in 1907, he worked with that's the younger senator.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember Statehood Day?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about that day.
Appreciate that, Chris.
Well, I didn't
Appreciate the gifts. Much love.
see anything that was done. That might have been at some place, big place, maybe at Guthrie or wherever they had their big meetings, but we never did go to very many of them. We didn't have time.
Were the people around here for or against statehood?
Well, there's a lot of them against it, more so. My daddy was against it. Mm-hmm. He said we never would have the rights. We Choctaws would never have the rights that we had while it was the Indian Territory. Mm-hmm. And the longer, the worse it would get. Well, he was right about it. It's just getting harder and harder all the time.
Did your father ever talk about the Sequoia Convention?
No.
That was held in Muskogee to make
Oh well, appreciate that. That's dope. Appreciate that, Chris.
Indian Territory the state of Sequoia. You speak Choctaw?
No.
He asked her, does she speak Choctaw? She said no.
Papa didn't want us to learn.
Papa didn't want us to learn.
Okay. We went to, he said it was just too much trouble trying to speak both of them. He didn't care for it anyway.
He said it would do too much trouble to try to figure it out. He didn't care for it anyway. Now, up until this point, when I was listening, I still was unsure. I done pretty much out the bag. She's pretty much some YT lady, but I pretty much was still unsure. Like, what is she for sure? But we're gonna keep listening as we go forward. We're gonna see it as well, or not see it, but we're gonna hear certain clues that give us the idea to know what she was.
He could speak it a little bit, but not very much. When I went to Tuscaloosa to school, Choctaw Girls School, I never was so scared in my life. I just shake now when I think about it. There was just so many full-blood Indians there. Boy, they were just blacker than anybody you ever seen. I tell them today I don't believe it's all just Indian. They were mixed with this other race. I never seen anybody so black. Curly
Say that again.
Dawes Commission.
Play that again, y'all.
He was the youngest senator during the Indian Territory time.
Look, I went back kind of far. Hold on.
Longer the worse it would get. Well, he was right about it. It's just getting harder and harder.
Yeah, let's get, for those who didn't hear, get your listening ears on. I know it's been kind of slow starting, but get your listening ears right here.
Time.
Did your father ever talk about the Sequoia Convention?
No.
That was held in Muskogee to make Indian Territory the state of Sequoia. You speak Choctaw?
No. Papa didn't want us to learn.
Okay.
We went to. He said it was just too much trouble to try to speak both of them. He didn't care for it anyway. He could speak it a little bit, but not very much. When I went to Tuscaloosa to school.
Here it goes right here. Tuscaloosa. I don't think I have a. Let's see if I can. I might have a photo of them. Let me see. Tuscaloosa Indian School. Let's see. Tuscaloosa Indian School, formerly the Tuscaloosa. So I spelled that a little wrong. Indian school for girls boarding. So here we go right here. That's what they show there. Mixed race education in Indian history. Now look at how YT and they say mixed race. Hold on now. Let's go to images. Yeah, is that who was at Tuscaloosa while we was at Tallahassee? This would mean around the same time we'd have been at Tallahassee or Tallahassee Indian School, which I'm gonna show. Hold up. Was this Tuscaloosa? That wasn't Tuscaloosa. She didn't go there. That's not Tuscaloosa, is it? Hold on. Yeah, I do remember seeing this, and they spelled Tuscaloosa with a V in there, almost like right there, Tusca, because that's like a. I ain't even gonna get into all that, but I don't think I have photos of this one. Tuscaloosa School. Yeah, it'd have been the whites. Now she said she went there, and what did y'all hear? She said she seen. She said I've never seen. So she about to say it now, but this is what they showing in the pictures for the Tuscaloosa. That ain't what she said this was looking like, right? Let's listen. So listening ears right here. What did she say she saw at this school?
Choctaw Girls School. I never was so scared in my life. I just shake now when I think about it.
Now, real quick, this is 1923 I'm looking at. So she may be talking about prior to, right? The YTs may have taken it over after they done schooled us several times, got our minds all fucked up, and now they done made it a regular school for YT folks. But let's keep going. Let's see what she said.
There was just so many full-blood Indians there. Boy, they were just blacker than anybody you ever seen.
There was just so many full-blooded Indians there, boy. They were just blacker than everybody you'd ever seen. You ever seen somebody say that and look at one of them natives? You ever seen, man, look how black, the blackest thing I ever seen? That's only one people. There's only one people you can be talking about like that. You know, that's not some Dusty African. Let me let you hear it one more time. It should be right here.
The longer, the worse it would get. Well, he was right about it. It's just getting harder and harder all the time.
Did your father ever talk about the Sequoia Convention
No.
that was held in Muskogee to make Indian Territory the state of Sequoia? You speak Choctaw?
No. Papa didn't want us to learn.
How
We
come?
went to, he said it was just too much trouble trying to speak both of them. He didn't care for it anyway. He could speak it a little bit, but not very much. When I went to Tuscaloosa to school, Choctaw Girls School, I never was so scared in my life. I just shake now when I think about it. There was just so many full-blood Indians there. Boy, they were just blacker than anybody you ever seen. I tell them today I don't believe it's all just Indian. They were mixed with this other race. I never seen anybody so black. Curless hair, they had the beautifulest hair you ever seen. Anybody that loved curls, you know. And I cried and I cried and I cried because I was up there with them black kids.
I want y'all to hear that one more last time, all the way through. She cried, she cried, she cried, 'cause she was up there with all them full-blood black kid Indians.
He said it was just too much trouble trying to speak both of them. He didn't care for it anyway. He could speak it a little bit, but not very much. When I went to Tuscaloosa to school, Choctaw Girls School, I never was so scared in my life. I just shake now when I think about it. There was just so many full-blood Indians there. Boy, they were just blacker than anybody you ever seen. I tell them today I don't believe it's all just Indian. They were mixed with this other race. I never seen anybody so black. Curless hair, they had the beautifulest hair you ever seen. Anybody that loved curls, you know.
She said, of course, they had the beautifulest hair you ever see. Anybody that loves curls, you know. Ha ha ha. When's the last time you heard a native been explained to have curls? Never. Okay, let's keep going.
And I cried and I cried and I cried because I was up there with them black kids. The two Overstreet girls from Callington went up.
Now she said the two Overstreet girls. Now Overstreet's in my line. That's my grandma's maiden name. You said scared as hell. YT, excuse my friend. One more time for those in the back. Never. Dark skin and curly hair. Exactly. Like you can't really, and then you got to ask questions now. Now we got to ask questions. How come that's not what we see in these photographs of the Tuscaloosa school? How come you don't see what she says she saw? What she saw and still remembers? Because I mean, why wouldn't you remember the first time in your life you've ever seen niggas? You know what I'm saying? That'll frighten you. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, that's what they look like. Yeah, I know it's intimidating. You ain't never seen so much swag and style. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know it was gonna look like this. We made your heartbeat skip a little something, if depending on your age. She might have been kind of, I don't want to say all that. You know what I'm saying? But if she was a 15, 16, 17-year-old, made a little something tingle when you're in high school, when you seen a little nigga kid, all right, we understand. But how come that ain't what we see on these motherfucking photographs? Right? How come that's not what we see on the photographs? Now let me see if Tuscaloosa was listed in my Freedman schools, in my list of Freedman schools when I asked Chat GPT. Freedman. We'll just do that. Okay, maybe not that. Let's do shit. Indian school. Okay, here they go. Okay. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. We're gonna look real quick. I want to see if I had asked Chat GPT for a full list of black Indian boarding schools some time ago. We got Tallahassee right there. Notice the dates 1850 to 1924. Coweta, Ashbury, Choska, Tuscaloosa. What was she said? She was at Tuscaloma. She's at Tuscaloma. So Tuscaloosa was a so-called freedman, but they threw that on there later. That ain't what it was. 1892. Oak Hill Industrial, Blue Creek, Beaver Dam, Wiley Mission for the Chickasaws, Bethany Mission, Cherokee one. Seminole has some. Tallahassee, Manual Labor Training School, Boley Industrial Institute, Catawba Indian School, Croatian, Pamunkey, Mattapanai, Bethel, Freedman. So it's not listed at all as a so-called freedman. Now let me look at these off reservations. She said she went to the Tuscaloma. Now these are the so-called off reservations. Now this is what Chat GPT brought in. It's not always correct. They didn't even get Tuscaloma. It don't look like in this list under neither one of them. But there could be a good reason for that. And we're gonna see, because many of these schools were. So yeah, we don't see it. So we're gonna keep going. But many of these schools were burned to the ground. But let's keep going.
Up on the train as we did, and Papa always went with us. And
I don't know what a local AI chat is, Rich. Hearts pitter patter. She's seen the real Indians. Hell yeah. And they got hella curious. I wonder what they got going on. Don't try them. You might get a little too excited, little white girl. That's why the Wall Street was targeted. Wow, to ensure the end. But we are here. What's up, Soho? Was Coweta in Georgia? I think there is a Coweta, Georgia, but I think there's one also in Oklahoma. I think the Coweta school was in Oklahoma, because I think there is a Coweta in Oklahoma too, which makes sense because when they did the whole so-called Trail of Tears, and I'm gonna go through more of these historical society videos, and shout out to the person who sent this, which is, I'm gonna have to keep throwing this. I don't have to, but of course I am. I'm gonna keep throwing his name up, so that way I can give Papa credit, man, because I didn't look at this. I didn't find this. This was Canary Kano on Twitter. He the one that found this or whatever and sent it my way. So I appreciate that. Let's keep going.
Leela seen me a crying. She said, "Honey, what are you crying for?" I said, "Oh, I just don't like the looks of people up here. I'm afraid of them." And she said, "Well, you're not going to be with them. You're going to stay with me and Maggie. We're going to have room together." Well, I still didn't satisfy me. That 2 or 3 weeks, I just couldn't hardly stand it.
She just couldn't hardly stand for 2 to 3 weeks being around these black folks. That makes sense. Who else makes people feel that way? You know what I'm saying? Even though they love us, which is odd. They ain't never been around a bunch of natives and said they felt this kind of way. It's us every time. You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
Mama let her, and told her about it, but our superintendent wouldn't let her go out there if he didn't like it. And there's lots of them didn't go out.
She done wrote her mama a letter talking about she didn't like being around these niggas.
So I had to stay there with all them black Indians.
So I had to stay there with all them black Indians. Is it even more? I mean, do we need it even more proof? This is an eyewitness testimony, ma'am. Can we just bring this into the court today and be done with it? Okay, we need more proof. Okay, I'm gonna keep digging, but let's hear her say it again. You know, a nigga still gonna say, yeah, some of the natives were black back then. Shut up. Okay, let's listen to that again.
Everybody's a black. Curless hair, they had the beautifulest hair you ever seen. Anybody that loved curls, And I cried and I cried and I cried because I was up there with them black kids. The 2 Overstreet girls from Callington went up on the train as we did, and Papa always went with us. And Leela seen me a crying. She said, Honey, what are you crying for? I said, oh, I just don't like the looks of people up here. I'm afraid of them.
And real quick, people would still try to throw in the Freedman bullshit, even though she said full-blooded Indians. Okay, you can't. How you gonna deny it after an eyewitness says these black people I'm looking at back then in my eye with my eyes, my mind knows that they're the full-blood Indians. Now you got to think about this. Obviously, they wasn't taught that in school, right? Because they wasn't teaching that in the school. So she must have known that before school changed it. Okay. So, it's like you don't even need much else, but let's keep going.
And she said, well, you're not going to be with them. You're going to stay with me and Maggie. We're going to room together. Well, I still didn't satisfy me. That 2 or 3 weeks, I just couldn't hardly stand it. Wrote Mom a letter, and told her about it, but our superintendent wouldn't let her go out of there if he didn't like it. And there's lots of them didn't go out. So I had to stay there with all them black Indians. They had the itch, they had lice in the head.
We ain't had no goddamn lights, ma'am. What the hell she talking about? Talking about we had the itch and had some light. You had light. If we had it, it must have been being around y'all. Okay. Like we was around y'all so much. Somehow a couple of them got up in there, but yeah, nah, I don't know. But let's keep going. I know, right? We have what? They love us, they envy us, and they scared of us all at the same damn time.
They were dirty, just anything come along. Now they had it. Just imagine 400 kids together like.
But but she's painting a picture. These kids might be of the lowest class, orphans, whatever, right? So even though she's painting, whoa, this thing, my computer about to die. Hold up. Even though this picture she painting kind of sucks, it is giving us an idea on what type of kids they had going up there. Because if we was up there dressed hella well to do, coming up there just fine, it wouldn't, she wouldn't be saying this shit. Then you got to wonder what put us in such a dirty state, because we're not dirty folk. We're not dirty folk. We've seen videos of us even in slavery so-called times on video, not even slavery video, but us on the fields in black and white. That would have been well after slavery, but we see that, but we don't really see us in super dirty mode. But there's a couple dirty niggas out there here now, but let's keep going.
That.
There were 400 kids at school.
Oh yeah, we had big school, nice school.
400 kids at the school. Now we were just looking at these school pictures. I don't think that's Tuscaloosa. This can't be. No, that's the Carlisle. I was about to say, yeah, they keep showing that one, but that's the Carlisle. Yeah, the most we see is going to be kind of like this one right here, and yeah, it makes you wonder where you hiding the other 300. So y'all took a photograph. Is this supposed to be was representative of everybody that was at the school, or is this supposed to be you know what? Let me see if I probably can't. Let me see though. Tuskahoma Indian School yearbook. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure I doubt it. To find stuff on the side of the center, narrow archives. I doubt you're gonna have it, but let's try it. Tuskahoma. Nada. Okay, that's fine. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Chalocan, Tuska. Look at that photo of some Tuskahoma students on Facebook. Not a single black face, but she was so startled. She was so startled. She had to write to her mama about all these niggas. And we can't find a single one of these niggas. We can't find a single nigga. I find that pretty goddamn convenient. Yeah, I find that pretty damn convenient. They got the Choloco. Does Tuscaloosa become the Chicoloco? I doubt that. Let me just double check. No. Choloco Indian School. Yeah. No, that ain't got nothing to do with Tuscaloosa. It shouldn't. Hold on. Let me see. What was. I'm gonna look on. Now I do have some documents here, but I'm gonna look one other place. Newspapers. So y'all can see what I'm doing. We're gonna just look at the newspapers real quick. Tuscaloosa. Date range. We'll just show first. See how many we get. 64,000 matches on the Tuscaloosa. Let's whittle it down. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go 1900. We're just gonna do everything 19 pre-1900. What they talking about? Tuscaloosa. All right. We got some Oklahoma documents. We got 8,400 of them. So obviously, with some shit going on with Tuscaloosa. Let's go to the oldest first. Oldest first shows Mississippi. The word is Tuscaloosa, isn't? Let's look at a couple of these Louisiana and Negroes for sale. Let's look at that too. I'm curious. Why? Right? They're gonna try to say it's some Africans, but we're gonna look at it. Let's see if we see anything else down here. Also funny if it's Negroes for sale Tuscaloosa. What we're gonna say? Maybe they're talking about a place called Tuscaloosa, where they might be for sale. But the reason why I'm continuously scrolling because it's like the same thing over and over again. Tuscaloosa or same day Tuscaloosa. See, this one's. I think these are just naming a location. At the time, Alabama, Tuscaloosa end every day. It's like maybe they got an ad that's circulating that's reprinted. Tuscaloosa. Maybe I have to put in the word school. Let's put in the word school with it. All right. That whittled down some of the matches. Tuscaloosa. All right, so we're gonna get a little bit more detail. We're gonna put quotation marks around it and try to see if we can get the words Tuscaloosa closer together instead of having to go through all those. But that might be too much. Let's see. That gave me 3 matches, so that's not the best. But let's take a look. One's 1899. That might be important. Same thing right here. Let's take a look. So we're only gonna open up a few for right now. This one talks about Whoops, hold up. And my computer's starting to get a little hot. Okay. It says W. Virginia be immigrated to the state about 4 years where he met with almost unrivaled success in his profession. He has formed a circle of friends such as few men and boats. He is an accomplished scholar, legal some Tuscaloosa. I don't know. Maybe that just might be utilized for the place where he's at because that's not really telling us anything there. Let's go somewhere else. We learned from a gentleman who arrived in Tuscaloosa from the Choctaw Purchase that a party of from 20 to 30 Choctaw Indians had on the Sunday previous entered the store at that place, and after demanding and being refused knives and other things gratis, proceeded to beat the storekeeper in the most barbarous manner. Oh, you don't want to? Who does that sound like? Oh, you ain't trying to sell it to us, nigga? Nigga beat their ass. Who does that sound like? Okay, let's see. It says, let's see, barbarous manner until they were tired. They beat them in a barbarous manner until they were tired with sticks. They were dragging him out to the woods. he doubt he doubt to murder no doubt to murder him, as they threatened him repeatedly. But on his offering to pay them $30 to spare his life, they released him. And the Choctaws robbed the store, and almost every article contains Tuscahomian. Well, who does that sound like? That sound like a pack of niggas that you didn't want to sell to, and you got your just desserts. They do it. They try to do it. They can do that today. Now and they'll call the police. But back then, oh yeah. You just get to be a newspaper story, nigga. You get to be a newspaper story. That's pretty funny. I ain't gonna save it, but that's pretty funny. Negroes for sale. Let's take a look. West of Tuscaloosa. Okay, they're just talking about west of Tuscaloosa. You got Negroes for sale. Land situated on Santee, on the Sumter County, I'm sorry, 14 miles of Tuscaloosa on the Tombigbee River. They're attractive, comfortable, single cabin, and necessary outhouses. The tract contains 280 acres, 50 acres of which is cleared, about 1.5 acres of cane land, blah, 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 up to the land, blah, blah, blah. Where the niggas at? Oh, also, I will sell 1, 2, 3, or 10 Negroes together with the land, or separately. There is corn and a great many of other necessities, which can be seen on the premises. Of course, Negroes and Indians, that should be corn. At any time, cash will be expected for the Negroes. Any previous making, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I mean, hey, calling on Messrs. Brownwing and Tarrant. I seen that recently. I seen Messrs recently. And was it in the book that I just got? If I'm even spelling it right, mess. Let me just see if I saved anything with that. MESSE. I've seen all three of those names together. It might have been on something that I didn't say. I want to say it was even more recent. I want to say it was in the book that I was just looking at. I ain't gonna stick on it right now, but I seen Messrs. I don't know about Brown Rig, but that Tarrant too. It might have been Brown Rig, but I know I seen that. Okay, let me get off of it. All right, so now this one's got Tuscaloosa School. We are reliably informed that the girls at the Tuscaloosa School are allowed to go out to country dances and are accompanied by parties from the school. This should not be, and we hope investigations will be made and a report of the same sent to us. The girls can't dance. The girls can't dance. Have bows? Oh, like bows, BOWS, but it's spelled BEAUS. Have bows and do much in books. These three will not mix any more than water and oil. Dancing and boys will always come to the top, and books and improvement suffer. Now, looks like they didn't like that shit. Not much about that one. Pretty pointless. Let's look at one more, and then we'll get back to the video. Judge Gilbert Duke was nominated by the Tuscaloosa as principal chief of the Choctaw Nation. Ben Taylor in Choctaw Indians is 1900 student of the Tuscaloosa Normal School at Tuscaloosa, and that's what she said. It's a normal school. She's gonna say she hasn't said it yet, but has gone insane from overstudy. A heavy wind and a rainstorm. Oh, it looks like that's something else. It was just a small excerpt. So we ain't really found much out with it. I ain't gonna keep going. We're gonna go back to the video. You never know what you might find. So I try to do this shit in real time. All right, let's go.
But the building burned down. I don't know just how that building burned.
The building burnt down. Now think about it. That's what I wanted to get to too. She talked about there being all these black kids there, right? We can't find a single record. I mean, I ain't looked hard. If I look a little bit harder, like really, if anything, I'm gonna be looking through these Tuscaloosa receipts that are here in the National Archive records. If anything is gonna be somewhere, it's gonna be here. It's 2000 in here, so I'm gonna be skimming through this bitch like a motherfucker. I wish there was something easy I could just there's a census, but this is the Tuscaloosa census in 1940. I feel like I need to find before 1940. I feel like I need a that's 1912. Oh, hold up. Let's see this. Let's see that. 1912 Tuscaloosa Female Academy microfilm. Hold up. What we gonna find up in here? How many documents? 1,000, 1,200, 1,264. Get past the beginning. It's that real shit. Hold on, I'll let you see what I'm doing. The school year 1912 Tuscaloosa Female Academy was characterized by a wholesome growth in many ways and is marked improvement for former years. The pupils seem to consider the school as their home, and no difficulty, whatever, encountering along the lines of the school government, whatever. I ain't gonna read through it, but I just wanted y'all to see real quick. I'm talking about religious shit, whatever. Let's keep going down. Like when your boy be looking up some official shit. We looking up Manila folder shit. You know what I'm saying? Tuscaloosa Female Academy Oklahoma narrative, 1913, huh? Okay, health conditions were excellent. There's been no sickings, epidermis, whatever. I like imagine how much time I'm gonna have to spend going through this bitch. I'm probably not gonna go too much right now through it. Not, of course, not right now, but like when I say right now, like I got a lot of other shit I gotta stick to. But like, you ain't no telling what the fuck I'm gonna find. You would find up in here. We know something because this is the thing. We know something's hidden. This YT lady ain't saying all this shit for no reason. So when I go through and look in these documents, I don't expect to find the truth instantly, right? You're gonna have to find something in between the lines. They burnt the school down. You know what I'm saying? Just like they burnt down, they'll say they burnt down all the other so-called freedmen schools or every other school where we was going. They all got burnt down and reopened. And then when they reopened it, it is what it is. They you know what? When this is what they did. They burnt the schools down, reopened them, and then started labeling them as freedmen schools. But they were already the same folks going to them. But now they would be like, well, because this is what they talked about. They said it was burnt. Well, I say we was going to them first, but that's not how they put it. They say, hey, the Tallahassee, the Tallahassee Manual Labor School, they said it was started by as a school for only full-blooded Creeks. Then it said after a fire happened at whatever time in the 1800s, it then was reopened and rebuilt and reopened in like 1867, like after the Civil War, and they gave it to the freedmen kids after that because they want you to think it was never for any kid but so-called Native American in the sense. But why did all these schools burn down? That's because you can get rid of the records. It's just like you taking a whole test. I mean, somebody sending you a hard drive full of shit, and then after you go through, learn all that shit and get brainwashed or something, they just wipe the whole damn hard drive or burn it up. You know what I'm saying? There's no evidence. Well, I don't want to say there's none. now you got to look for evidence. It is right because there's always something to find. There's always a corner miss somewhere. Either you didn't take it out of the newspapers, you left some accidental letters around that might have had some shit on it that you didn't mean, or it might have been written in a book that somebody had that they read. Some, there's gonna be something. So this is what we do. We call it I call it investigative history. Okay, we're investigating history to make sure that what they're telling us is the real shit. That's what we're doing. So let's go back to this. Let her talk some more here real quick.
Burn while you were there?
No, well, yeah, I had gone home. I had eye trouble, and Papa come and got me. And I was in the hospital at Fort Smith when the school building burned. I never did get to go back.
What, did you live in the dorm there, the dormitory?
Yes, yes, we all lived in the dormitory.
How many girls to a room?
Well, there was 4 in my room. Some of them had 8 girls, some of them had 6, some of them had 2. But downstairs in the basement, just a great big basement, I don't remember how many, but must have been 25 or 30 beds. Most of the little children would sleep down there. But we all took upstairs. There was a basement in our schoolroom, superintendent's bedrooming.
All right, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's a whole hour. It's slow. I ain't gonna lie. But I wanted to get through the main part. The main parts are this. You have a Tuskahoma school, and then we're gonna get into other topics, but you got a Tuskahoma Indian school, and you have hardly any proof of any existence so far that we've looked. We can look deeper, right? But just off of easy quick searches or whatever, you can find information about the school. You can find that it was there, whatever. You could even find some kind of so-called photographs, but for some reason you can't find any photographs of it saying that it had any black kids. But here we have an eyewitness that was so startled that she wrote home to her mom after 2 weeks, still startled that she had to be around these so-called black kids. Now, way later on, I will be honest with you. Way later on, I don't know where it is in here, but Olga, old dude, the interviewer, he asked her, were they freedmen or something? And she said yes. So you got to think, in one whole video, you got the lady calling the same people full-blooded Indians, black, and freedmen. Okay. So what does she believe a freedman is? Well, maybe she believes that those full-blooded Indians were enslaved in her mind, even though they was, it depends on the situation. Some were and some wasn't. Or maybe she has a totally different idea of what a freedman is. Maybe freedman didn't mean slave to her or in the general public, right? Because you got to ask, where did she get this, where did she get this notion that these people were freedmen? Yet she knew instinctively knew that they were full-blooded Indians. So that's my thing. What did these people tell people a freedman was for real? And when you look in the newspaper, the first time, I can't remember, we're gonna look now. Let's just do it. I'm gonna do this real quick. But when you look in the newspapers, and we're going to look up, when is the earliest time you see the word freedman even used in the newspapers? Just on a general idea, on a general public idea. Let me swap this out. Actually, let me take her out. Put this over here. All right. Sorted by Otis. So freedman, the term goes back decently far. Let's see what some 1740 and this is saying about some early time freedman use. Now that says freedom. Freedman, we're gonna see that. Horse of a Freedman, 1794. We'll see. We'll just take a little quick look. But notice it's not used a lot. 1803, we already in the 1800s. We'll look at that one. Freedman, 1804. Embrace Horace of a Freedman. So this is the same thing. Nero's Freedman and the old Galba, governor of Spain. So they ain't got shit to do with us. Let's keep going. Nero's Freedman. Nero's same shit. Horace Freedman. Calamity and his freedman, a wild, blah, 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 1812. Right now, we still not talking about no niggas. From whom caused a freedman, his a parliament with a freedman. Whom we'll look at that one, but I doubt there's gonna be niggas. A freedman, a son of a freedman. Salzburg. Let's take a look at that one. They're talking about Rome, it looked like. Yeah. I really think you're not gonna get the freedmen used like that until really after 1865 on purpose. Let's see. Freedman clothes passes for a freedman. Oh yeah. Excuse me. You may see it. That would be one case where you may see it, which is right here, which is now this is 1819 Mississippi. They're running the same ad for looking for somebody like a runaway, and they say he may pass off as a freedman. Now, not saying that the person is a freedman there, but they're trying to say, I've seen it in the past. They say he's trying to pass as a free man, or this person says freed. So as you can see, it was used vaguely 1819, but at the same time, it's not really used like that. Right now, this is the same ad ran over and over again, to be honest. 1820, somewhat of a freedman, care of a freedman, placed on the funeral pile of old fish, by the care of a freedman, small made freedman, the same thing kind of thing. Like, so yeah, I'm not gonna stick on it, but like these freedmen, we'll just take a look at some of the few things we got. The 5 books of the Aesopian fables of Pastreus, whatever the hell, Caesar Augustus Freedman, with a numerical key adjoining to each line. Directing, I ain't gonna read this whole thing. I don't know what the hell it's talking about. Okay, but okay, whatever. Some Caesar Augustus. Phillips, his freedman, steps into the bark with Archelaus. Well, I think it's some of that same shit because they got Pompey, Archelaus, all the that ain't got shit to do with us. That's that Horace of Freedman, Vega Baker, whatever. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Freedman, Nero's Freedman ain't got nothing to do with us. Just before the Nero's fall, before the must never be retrieved, but yeah, nothing. None of this stuff. Having taken his resolution, he shut himself in the apartment with a freedman or a freedman, whom he had caused to take off his armor and commanding him to plunge his dagger into his bosom. Okay, but his servant, full of affection, respect, and fidelity for his master, stabbed himself with it and fell dead to his feet. It sounds like that somebody's making up a damn story. Yeah, that's what that sound like. Let me lower my screen. My computer is starting to heat up. Rome, 3 years, the son of a freedman. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, you're not gonna really find freedmen used for a while until mostly after the war. Like I said, that's a runaway saying he's trying to pass as a freedman. There's nothing serious there. Nothing serious here. Having been made a freedman, he purchased a small spot. Furious Cineas, as mentioned by Pliny, the Roman historian. So yeah, okay, all right, off of that. So yeah, so main thing to take away from that is is the fact that you're not going to find anything on these schools. So I want to show y'all some things that I kind of been going over. Okay, let me bring this back up here. So this book, you know what? I don't know if I want to go over that right now because I don't have certain spots picked on this book. But this book, let me show y'all this book and what led me to this book. This is the American Board. I got this from the Library of Congress. And we're gonna read. We're gonna find a couple passages because it's crazy. American Board of Commissioners history. The history of the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions. So, what are the foreign missions? The foreign missions are what we've been talking about. The Indian schools. Okay, Indian schools, Indian territory would have been foreign to them. So we're gonna look at some of these passages, but this dude in the end, he's read basically all these letters and he had access to all this stuff. And the reason that I got on this is I seen it in one of these. The half-breed natives treated much kindness upon I feel jealous. I'm more. I'm gonna read this for you. Oh, wow. But it's different though. It's different. That's a different message. Okay. Remember I said I saw Messrs? There's Messrs. Now there's Messrs, Kingsbury Williams. So a little bit different, but I told you I saw a Messrs. I don't be bullshitting. I know. Okay. So let's go here. So it says at the late date of 30th, Mr. Kingsbury writes the half breeds and natives, Indians, who understand our object appear jointly gratified and treat us with much kindness. Though there are no wanting, though there are something one of those who look upon the white people who came into the country with a jealous eye. It says the prospect in this nation on the whole is favorable, but there are some circumstances which times bear down our spirits and sink our hopes. It says one is the immoral and impious lives and multitudes of whites who either passing through the Choctaw country or residing in another prevalence of import or who have the residing through the Choctaw company, I'm sorry, or residing in it. Another is the prevalence of drinking. So first of all, you're talking about a mission school who's bringing in the Church of England into the Indian territory. Now, as they're bringing in this stuff into the Indian territory, what's up, Black Receipt? What's up, Rico Mills? What's up, I am Ancestors? My bad, I didn't see y'all over there. You said, am I frozen? Hopefully, it's starting to get better. My computer, I had to elevate it. It's starting to cool down. But they say, so think about this. It says, hey, we got some immoral, impious lives of whites here. So impious means, I had to look it up. Hold up. I can't even remember off top. Impious means irregular or lack of God. Okay. Same thing with heathen means kind of like a lack of God, but irreligious, lacking a reverence for God. So this is what am I getting to? You have a newspaper article here telling you, hey, I'll put myself back over here. You got a little newspaper article here telling you, hey, we have a country that we're going to, an area we're going to where we're spreading the Bible, right? And it supposedly comes from England, right? And as you're spreading it amongst the Indians and these fake Native Americans that you done brought over, you talking about these white folks coming in who are godless, Well, I thought y'all came from the same place, right? Why would the mission, well, why would the white folks already not come over here with the, Jesus and the Lord and all this other stuff? And it made me think, like, there's a church on every corner in the black areas. There ain't a church on every corner in the white areas. It makes me wonder how many of them really do attend church like that. And don't get me wrong, some of them do. I've seen some of them. I've driven by some of them. And yeah, they got the little mega churches here and there. I've seen those. But at a critical time where you have people coming in who are YT, they don't have the religion that you're trying to spread to the Indians. That even more so shows malice, because you would think that you're bringing this in because that's the white religion in a sense, right? That's what all these folks are coming over here with you for. With you with, is to say, hey, we making this a God country, a country for the Lord, if you will. Yeah, for the Lord, but y'all got to know what the Lord is for real. So that's why I thought that this particular newspaper thing is pretty interesting, is because, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense that you would be missionizing all the Indians and you ain't even missionized all your folks. How you not gonna start with your own folks? How you gonna missionize all the Indians and you ain't even got y'all people in Europe straight? That don't even make sense to me. May the grace, blah 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 blah. So that that is what it is. Okay. Let me read this one to see what I remember. About the middle of June, man, I hate that my nose and stuff right now. About the middle of June, Mr. Peter Canals and Mr. John G. Canals and his wife from Rockaway, New Jersey, and Mr. Moses Jewell and his wife from Shenango County, New York, embarked at New York, having been designated as assistants. Hold on. Yeah, this is important. So, let me just finish reading. Having been designated as assistants in the Choctaw Mission, they arrived at New Orleans on the 24th. So, why am I talking about this one? You got niggas from New York, New Jersey coming down to missionize and teach some Choctaw folks. All right. Who are these folks? Why are they coming from the north? They probably look like us. Now, this is very similar to what I'm thinking of, which is this. The newspaper clipping, which I always bring up, right? They said they're going to purchase some country-born Negroes, cause them to be instructed to read the Bible and in the Christian religion, and then employ them as schoolmasters amongst the children, right? That's what they said they wanted to do. So to me, you pulling niggas from the north to come down here south. Now, what does that do? What that does is whatever Indians, which would be like an Iroquois, Algonquin, Seneca, whatever was up there, right? Whatever they got going on up there ain't got shit to do with what we got going on in the south, right? Whatever colonization, missionizing shit they got going on up there is different than what happened down south. So picking them from there to here, they could tell them any story about why they helping these kids. And they just see, oh, poor little children look like me, man. I need to help these little Indian kids or these little nigga kids. I don't know. It could be a country born more Negro from Europe. All these folks could be country-born Negroes from Europe, or I don't know. They could be, Indians. I'd have to look more further into each one of them, but that's just pretty damn convenient to see that you're putting in people from New York coming down here. Shouldn't it make more sense that you would train and teach the Choctaw that's there and have them teach the kids, so you don't have to get somebody to travel, and it ain't like you just catch a quick plane or something. Maybe you get on the dirigible or something back then. I don't know. But let's keep going. What's up, Zaza? Mike, Mitchy Zaza. What's up? Said make it make sense, right? Allergy says, yeah, that's what it is, right? Man, been messing with me. Say you was out on TikTok for about 5 minutes. Oh, I didn't know that. Really? It's done finally. My computer done finally shut the hell up and calmed the hell down. Frozen on TikTok. Oh, okay, I'm just not looking over there. Appreciate y'all giving me the heads up. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Hopefully y'all ain't missed too much. But yeah, so New York. New York showing that you got these people bringing down to New York mission, and they was going around to the Natchez down here. Uh Messrs, Kingsbury, and Williams. So I told you it was like a three name that I saw, but it was different from the one I just saw. But it wasn't Messrs. But I'll be on it, boy. I ain't look. Should stay in my head. Okay, let's read this. This was pretty interesting. I can't remember why. The Reverend Mr. Cornelius, whose zealous and able services as an agent. Let me get my damn thing ready. As an agent of the board continue to entitle him to very grateful notice agreeably to his instructions visited in this course of the last autumn not only the Cherokees but also the Chickasaws and Choctaws, and he saw a large council of Creeks within the Cherokee limits. Everywhere he was kindly received and found dispositions highly favorable to the objects of the mission. The Creeks wished for the time to consider, but the Choctaws and Chickasaws showed not only readiness, uh, but an ardent desire to have establishments. And this, you know what I the reason why I did this, like it shows that the Creeks were coming up and were around the Choctaws and the Chickasaws around this time, as well as the Cherokees. And it says the Creeks was within the Cherokee limits. And the reason why that's important is because in doing this Yamasee book, which I'm about to like really deep dive into, I think I've gotten enough information now that I can start writing and adding to his book. Um, he talks about the Yamasee Cherokee um animosity between each other. Like they was cool at one point, you know what I'm saying? And at one point, Cherokee started siding with one side of white folks. Yamasees, excuse me, Yamasees may have sided with certain whatevers, and they was fighting each other. Here it shows, a togetherness because at the same time, the Creeks are the Yamasees as well as Yuji, Shawnees, and many of those Yamasee. Excuse me. So this definitely shows that, and it shows at a certain time, whatever year this is. This is 1819. That it was still somewhat of a. They still had some type of integration amongst them, after all of that debacle. Because this is kind of they pretty much would have came this way, but not all of them. Some people stayed in their land, but some of them did come this way after the Yamasee Wars and all that stuff, and the Seminole Wars. Seminoles was still going strong. Um, and all that. Damn, did I not highlight? Okay, so I hate that I didn't highlight the part that there's this other part. Save things painted cakes. Ah, yeah. Okay, now this is completely off topic. We just about to move to something. And then, to be honest, I'm not gonna be on here much longer. I didn't really have much. My goal was to go over that whole video, but it moves kind of slow. I ain't gonna lie, it moves very slow. I at least wanted to get us through the part where she talked about the school burning and seeing all these black people. That's all that really mattered. There was some other good things within the video. You should go listen to it if you're really interested. Um, but there's but it's not a whole lot. I'm gonna go over a couple of these, and if anybody want to jump in, you can come in. If y'all want to talk about some shit, you're more than welcome. If not, we'll just give up some game and be done. But I didn't have a whole lot for this evening. Facts. I think the most united nation was the Powhatan that had 30 tribes under one banner. Your Powhatan was huge. And also one I know was called King Datha, Datha, down there where the Geechees are, and in an old book by Peter Martyr, it was said that he reigned as the king over Chikora, or they said, which was basically a bunch of the islands up the coast on the east, not the whole east, but down there in the south. And they said it was like 500 tribes that he was reigning over. So yeah, it was pretty dope. Y'all are here on my TikTok, right? If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. I'm just making sure because I just clicked back over the TikTok live studio and it's saying couldn't connect, trying to reconnect now. But I see action in the chat, so I think y'all good. Okay, yeah, y'all good. I guess the message just won't go away, and there's no X to exit that out, so it's just telling me it couldn't connect. Appreciate that, y'all. So I'm gonna read now. This I'm just gonna read something that I just was on some side shit reading, and this is the whole true history discovery of Florida by Jean Raybeau. Now, I really want to find the non-English version because Jean Raybeau is not an English name, so I think there's going to be some translation. But this is 1563, but it was still pretty interesting. I'm going to show you. It says where we had landed first. I had set our limits, which they viewed a great while without touching it any way. Uh, of something, aballing or something, or ever speaking without something or ever speaking to thereof at any time. Notice how these things are spelled like time right here is Tyme. So it could be a little odd trying to read. However be it, how be it, I'm sorry. We something no, we could start depart, but or some depart, but as it were with grief of minds for this our first alliance, they rowing unto us along the river from all parts and presenting us with some of they. Okay, so basically, let me paint the picture. I'm reading it so off that it could be whatever. So basically, you got this. You talking about Jean Ribault? They're in a boat. They're about to depart, and they're saying a bunch of Indians are rolling up to them on boats. So now they're saying they're presenting them with something. So let's see what they're presenting them with. That's what I wanted to show y'all. It says something skins, hard skins, tart skin, hard some skins, painted and unpainted. So some types of skins, painted and unpainted. Meal, little cakes. Let me do it like that. Little cakes, fresh water, roots, like unto kindable which they have a great affirmation or something. It says, and make thereof a potion of medicine. So who brings up little meal or corn cakes? I'm gonna show you another one. They talk about some little cornbread. Okay, so we was offering niggas cornbread off the gate. You know what I'm saying? In many different cases, and fresh water and roots that we would use for medicine. The reason why I also wanted to play some of the other lady's video is she talks about utilizing roots for meds, herbs and roots. Sassafras, she mentioned sassafras, she mentioned slippery elm, She mentioned that for I think either whooping cough or something. He asked her about another one, but y'all know, man, we've been the culture. Our culture has always been us. No matter how much they try to take it out of us, it ain't going. It ain't going nowhere. We be doing them roots. A lot of. I be doing herbs. I can't. I got a ton of herbs sitting over here in my counter right now that I don't ever take. I do be taking them, and then I be not taking them. I got tinctures. I got goddamn dandelion. I got that. I got goddamn. I got some mullein. I got some. Um, I got some widows. Damn, I can't think of the shit that I got no more. I got all kind of herbs, but yeah, that's what we do. And I can show you, like this stuff is stuff that I'm saving in a folder that talks about who we are as a people, our culture. Our culture has never left, and we need like a whole documentary that specifically deals with continuity of culture because that's the only thing that not the only thing, multiple. So you got people that there's certain things people say when they say we're not Indians. You don't have no culture that's carried over. Well, we gonna shut that down. We're gonna come up with a documentary that's gonna explain it with nothing but primary sources. Like another one I'm gonna show you. Hold on, let me finish this one. Also, then little bags of red colors and some of spices. We was trying to make sure y'all niggas can cook, and you still ain't get it right. We been giving these niggas spices in the 1500s, and you still only using salt, and you ain't even using that. I don't even think you using salt. Y'all still ain't using nothing. Y'all just take the chicken out the pack and toss it in the pan with some. Thank God you put grease in that motherfucker. Like we've been sending them spices and unto wire preserving something among themselves fair things painted as it has been with the grain of scarlet show. What the hell? Wiring, I don't know, man. Unto us with the rowing. Maybe that's what they're trying to say. Rowing unto us by signs. Oh, showing. I get it. Showing unto us by signs that they had in the land gold, silver, copper, which we have brought some. Okay. So I just wanted to show that on one note. You got Indians pulling up to these niggas. We gave that nigga some cornbread. We gave that nigga some fresh water. Gave you some roots in case you needed to heal real quick. Uh Turned your ass on to some spices. Y'all didn't pick it up. We gave y'all some skins and they was painted with different colors. Some painted, some not. Just in case you want to do your own creative thing on the skins, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not that good. We also gave you some gold, silver, and copper. All right, just handing niggas over all kinds of shit. All right. Talks about their bows to the next, blah blah blah. Okay. Let me get out of this one and this other one that I saved. Let's see. Some also lead like unto ours, which we showed. Also turkeys. Notice how they spell turkeys. Turkeys. A great abundance. And pearls. That's why I did this. Pearls, which they declared unto they got out of oysters. Now, y'all women love oysters. Some of y'all women, some of y'all black women, Indian women, I'm sorry. Some of y'all love some oysters. I'm not a big fan of them, but y'all love the hell out of some oysters. But also, we got the pearls. Obviously, you get the pearls via the oysters. And when you see, as we've seen in many different accounts, De Soto and everybody, all the people, they show us with pearls. In the allegory of the continents, they draw us all the time with pearls. Pearls in the ears, pearls in the arms, pearls on the neck. And even here, let me hold on. I think he does say They had a pearl. I didn't save that. I don't think I saved it. No, no, I did. I did. Okay, okay, I did. I did. I did. Marches, Marlon, painted so fair, pearl, many country. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Now let me show y'all this. Now this is wild. It says there is. Hold on. No, the one below it. My bad. For we saw a man of them as we entered into our boats. We saw a man of them as we entered our boats that had a pearl hanging at a collar of gold and silver about his necks, great as an acorn, at the least. This man, as he had taken fish in one of the fishing packs, thereby brought a same or something to our boats, and our men perceiving the greatness of thereof. So basically, he's like perceiving the greatness thereof. This man is wearing a gold silver chain with a thick ass acorn ass pearl on that bitch in the middle. And he's like, we ain't never seen these niggas. These niggas is flossing. And he's like, the people that when the nigga came in the boat and you know, get some fish from us, the whole crew nigga looking at that bitch like, damn. In fact, I wanted to let me see if it keeps going. If I saved it, I didn't save it, but when you go further down, he basically let them know, hey, don't be touching on my motherfucking chain, as if they gonna steal it type shit. I said, get the fuck out of here, nigga. And let me show you this, because when you look at the Iroquois, let me throw that in my roots folder before I forget, because that's gonna be the folder, my roots folder. So in my roots folder, let's see how many things I have saved in it. That's the folder. I need to put it in that pearls folder too. But that's the folder that I have. That when I say roots, I mean like the roots of who we are. Um that's gonna be my receipts for that documentary. If I can find it. Goodness gracious. Sometimes you just gotta take it slow because I gotta be passing it. There it is. 58 so far, but I think I got two folders. That's 59, almost 60. But I got a lot of things, and they all correlate with each other in things that they said. And I was going to show y'all the other one. So that right there talked to. Oh, let me show you the chain first before I do that. The Chippewas have some on similar to that. Ah, shit. I don't think it's gonna find it that way. Here we go. Right here. All right. So now this is somewhat similar, right? They've depicted him with a chain with a something acorn big size in the center. Okay. So not only do we have books explaining the shit multiple times, but we also have depictions from people, continuity of culture. We also have niggas today that do that today. In fact, when you see YT boys or other folks do it, if they put one too many chains on, don't really look right. You look at them like, huh? I don't know, man. You look like you trying to be from the hood or something, man. I don't know. You got a couple too many chains on, too many chains. it just looks weird. But when we do it, it looks natural. It's like, okay, whatever, niggas just shine. And I got my little one. I just keep my little one. I might get a couple more one day. You know what I'm saying? I thought about getting a little charm. That's our thing, get a little charm. But most charms that you see, I don't know, a bunch of crosses and shit. I don't know. If I get some, I'm gonna have to make something that's like personal, and it really means something. Like, I don't know. It had to be something about my ancestors or something from the past. I don't know what I would get. But we have that. Okay. It said rocking chains. Yeah, we've been rocking big chains, Mr. Real Thing. I said Pocahontas' father had iced the fuck out too. We was friends. What? Pocahontas was out here, bro? I can believe it. Cause they come over there from that side where the Tamukas and shit was out there too. And the Tamukas and all them, they had all kind of shit. The chief, that nigga had whole all kind of motherfucking gold on and jewels and stones. My great grandmother had a farm, all the herbs, vegetables, and chickens, and and that's what I really wish we still had. At least if every one family had at least one person every generation that could do the farming, that would be dope. You know what I'm saying? We just had that one family member that, man, he or she gonna take care of this land or whatever, man. Because everybody don't want to do it, but there's some people that love it. Personally, I'm not a person. I love nature, but not like that. I'm a city nigga. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I stay downtown. Uh, but I do like being out in nature. But I ain't gonna lie, it's not my cup of tea to be out. I say that, but I've never done no farming type shit. Like maybe if I actually did farming, I might feel a different way about the closeness to it, eating what you produce from the earth. And that may bring a different type of feeling out there as I labor to make it happen. But there's some people that love it. Like I say it like this because like my nephew, he's a country nigga in a sense. Like he loves going fishing and all this other stuff, hitting up the lake, whatever, whatever. And I love that for him. That ain't me. Okay, I'm not about to do too much fishing. Not that I don't like fishing. I've done fishing a couple times back in the day, but it's just not my cup of tea. Uh, you know what? It could be decently cool. It could be decently cool. Just sitting out there in nature. I'll probably do it when I get a yacht off of the motherfucking Miami Ocean or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Just for the hell of it. But when I say yacht, I ain't gonna be spending no money on it. You can get a little small boat for like 100,000 or something like that. Um, but yeah, yeah. So uh that I wanted to show y'all the other one too. Cause I thought this is very interesting. Shit. What is it? What is it? What is it? Mm, let's see. It's a more recent, but it's got to be this one. I say that. No, nah, I say that. Damn, what did I? Let me look in that folder real quick. I might have already saved it. Hold on. I did put that in the wrong root folder. So that root folder's got 55. Hold on, there was another root folder. That's probably the main one. I hate that I can't find it. Oh, maybe it was the word cake. Maybe I just try to. I think I just did that. Oh man, what was the word in there, man? Shit, sweet. This is sweet potato. No, but that's cool too. But damn it. Oh, you know what? I know another word. Harmony. I think it's probably not finding it because of the way it's typed. It's like an old type. Yeah. Cause I know those words are in there, but yeah. A lot of these I'm gonna have to go through a lot of like really all of these from like here on above, if not a little bit before this. Probably all of these need to be organized.
House. Everybody stayed in it. And superintendent was the only man on that place.
I don't know why they came up and started on its own like that. That was kind of weird. But and also this came up out of nowhere, and this came up out of nowhere too. That's weird. And yeah, yeah, man. So I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna hold y'all. You said I used to do some farming with my grandfather. Uh, I ain't even gonna lie. The most and if you get started early, it's gonna be a lot easier for you, a lot better. You probably feel like it. Nobody really kind of got me started early. My papa had me out there cutting grass and shit. That was cool. Manual labor, I guess. Y'all talking back and forth. My grandpa still farm. Florida boys love that gold teeth and all. We used to wear a lot of gold and different crystals, and I used to wear a lot of amethyst crystals and things of that nature. I love that you keep referencing my people. This is Cooper. Oh, that's what's up. The real Camellia. That's what's up. That's your folks. Said put the file in chat GPT and transcribe. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? The problem with that, man, okay, so which I'm actually right here. Let me pull this back up. I don't know why I shut it off anyway. So just for instance, I got letters like this from the Library of Congress, that I go through and I would translate into chat GPT. Um now Oh, I know what I might go over with y'all since I got quite a few of y'all here. I said I was gonna go over the letter from my what you call it. But real quick before I get my train of thought, I've when I was doing this and I would get the translations like so, I noticed I wish I could find it, but I noticed that on one of these at some point in time, it was probably somewhere near the end because that's when I stopped using it. Uh like I would put it in there, it would give me the translation and the names and things would change, especially the names. Main one was like in here, it had like Indian name, like an Indian name listed with dash marks in it. And it had multiple. It was like Mashula Baba Tubby or something, whatever, and such and such and such and such, right? And when I looked at Chat GPT, it had like Stephen Colbert. I'm just gonna name that Stephen Colbert and something something. So I said, I was like, how the fuck did you just completely change the whole name? Like I can understand you just putting a complete misspelling or whatever, but a whole name spelled out in that. And I went back and forth with ChatGPT. It just kept apologizing, but a whole name spelled out with dashes that's Indian, and you put a fucking Colbert something, like you just put something in its place. Then I had to start thinking, what the hell else have you been putting in its place that I don't know? Now look through other letters, and certain parts just wouldn't even adding up. Not the whole thing. Excuse me, not the whole thing. That really pissed me off about ChatGPT because I had put a lot of trust. I had read, I mean, not only that, I had read through all these fucking letters, hundreds. Now these are the ones that I threw in here. So these are though all these white squares were a bunch of letters at that time that I threw in there and got translated. Some of them I didn't show the translation because they didn't really say nothing. So, but then I would show if it was good like this one, I would show the translation. Let's read it. I don't remember. Let's see what it said. I favored it for some reason. Sir, this is a Chickasaw agency letter from 1824. Your letter of the 5th of June has come to hand, in which I have only to remark that in article of the Treaty of 1818, I think all white men are deprived of the liberty of trading with the Chickasaw Nation without permission from the chiefs. Consequently, no white man has an establishment of any kind in the nation. I have the honor of your respect, servant, whatever, William W. McKinney, the Indian agent, Esquire. Esquire. So now I know what Esquire means. Esquire is a young lad or a young knight, a knight in training. And a knight would be a person up under a king or queen. So we can kind of tell a little bit more of who these Indian agents are. Some of them are just people with the government. And then I can read it from here to see if it's telling the truth. Your letter of the 3rd of whatever has come to hand, and to answer to which I have only to remark that that's in an something of the treaty, that the article of the Treaty of 1860, all white men are deprived of the liberty of trading with the Chickasaw Nation without permission from the chiefs. Consequently, white men, blah blah blah. So it's telling the truth. But they did sign it. Did they sign it with the Esquire? Yep, there it goes. Esquire. Esquire right there. So one thing, the reason why I say that likely is to show the fact that the Chickasaws wasn't seeing the YT folks too favorably. Like there's a newspaper article that I showed y'all that says they didn't like white men marrying into the tribe like that. Where here you have a situation where they're talking about, hey, we also don't want y'all trading with us like that unless you got permission. So then you have to ask the question, why does the Chickasaws, who seem like they really ain't really too keen on these YT folks, why do they end up somehow with the 48,000, the most YT claimants out of all tribes? Does it sound to me, it shows, if I can show enough malice that shows that, hey, these YT folks have been trying to gain their way into the Chickasaw tribe, and apparently we ain't fucking with them, and they utilize their $5 method in order to drown out the tribe with immigrants. Okay, that's basically what I'm showing there, because it shows here they ain't really fucking with you like that multiple ways. All right, but somehow y'all done married in more than people than y'all can even marry into, which is absurd, crazy absurd. And you never know what's in these pay. Let me read a few of these while you know what, I'm supposed to be sending this over. Let me send this over to my so we can go through that real quick. Let's see. Watkins, Chief Watkins. Give me a second, y'all. Is this it? I think this is it. I'm gonna have to send it over to my iPad. Hold on. Yeah, this is it. Okay, let's go. Let's go through this. don't know why it's not sending. I hate when things don't work. I'm sitting here clicking send, and it's not sending. Send. Now it's working. All right. Electronics for you. Okay, so this person is a person in my tree. He comes from a chief. Now we're gonna go over this letter real quick. Get off of there. I'm already in. Why is this up? Let me refresh. I don't know why this thing is stuck up here. Why is this on here? What the hell is going on? Let me go to a different damn screen. Stupid shit. Look, it's gone now. Look, I didn't do nothing different. I just opened it up in a different screen. Now it ain't over there. Oh, it ain't even over there either now. Electronics just be randomly fucking up. I swear to you. Okay. All right. So let me make this bigger. So this letter was sent to, and you may even find your own family up in here. What up, Mike P? He said, what up, though, Sam? Checking in with the Chief Scholar. What up, though? What's that? What's up, Felonious? Somebody being lying. Shout out to Rashad. And let me look over here, make sure my YouTube straight over here. What up, Akila? I see you down there. This is Chip. Oh, Copper Chippewa. I see you said from TikTok, the real Camellia. That's what's up. I just now look back over this way. I have my other screen up. Okay, so now we're just gonna go through this letter. Now, this letter, it says a list of colored freedmen for which a registration is required from the United States government. Remarks to the Choctaw Chickasaw government, petition to wit. So you have the family of Buck. I think that's Brashears or Bushy head. No, I think that's Bushy head or Bushy leg or something. Discharged soldier, U.S. soldier, a discharged U.S. soldier, and he said he's looking for Nancy and Gracie Ann, something and Lucy Ann and Josephine and Margaret and Nancy something Bushy Head. So it is Bushy Head. All reside in Blue County, Choctaw Nation. Then you have Charles Perry, a discharged U.S. soldier. That's interesting, huh? Aga and something, Susan and George and Sanders Perry, three sisters, Lucy Berry Perry, are residing in the Chickasaw County. Okay. Now you have my folks, Andrew Chief Watkins, a farmer by occupation. Three sons, James, Jacob, and Charles Watkins, reside in Pushmataha County. Then you got family of Watson Brown by occupation and interpreter. Wife Harriet, they reside in Jacksport County, Choctaw Nation. One child named something Brown. We got a people Loman, I think. Daniel Loman, another farmer. And then we also got Ben Colbert. We have a Colbert down here, but this is a black Colbert. Now think about that. These people, I didn't even think about that because Watkins makes sense. Watkins, ain't on, whatever. But you got a Colbert here who they've labeled as a freedman. And this is a 1865 letter. And he's being labeled as a freedman compared to a Dawes Rose Commission. The difference is the people at the Dawes Rose was 1900. Labeling that person as a freedman, you can say, a couple generations, blah, 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 right? 1865 being Colbert as a freedman, that says his parents was likely black too, right? And so on and so forth. Taking it back, taking that timeline back pretty good. But okay, but they're looking for their people. Now, this is the first thing that I saw. This is all that somebody has saved. But I had opened this up and then I realized there was more to the story behind it. Multiple letters behind it. Let me see if I can find the first main one that goes into the issue. Well, yeah, the one that they're this is the letter they wrote about the issue. So it says, this is the state of Arkansas, city of Fort Smith. Oh, Howard Freedmen's Bureau. So they're writing to the Freedmen's Bureau in Arkansas, October 12th, 1865, to the Honorable Superintendent of the Washington City. We, your petitioners, would respectfully, let me do this so it ain't, I can see what, so y'all can see. Okay. Would respectfully, hold on, let me give me some water. Hold up. All right. My bad. Okay. Because as we go over this, as we go over this, there's a lot of stuff now to keep in mind. The new things. Well, I say new, you don't know, but y'all don't know what I mean. But like, it's been a while since I've read this letter, and I know a lot more than I used to know. So let's see what we uncover. It says that at the commencement of the late rebellion, we resided in in the Indian countries. I'm sorry, and were held as slaves by the Choctaw and the Chickasaw Indians in different locations in these territories. And during the progress of that war, we made our respective escapes from bondage to the freedom of the federal line. So I want you to first keep something in mind. One of them already put on here that he was a chief, right? So he must know that he's not an African, right? And in fact, the same thing too, his son, James, and both his sons call him chief. And his son said in his thing here, let me show you. This should pull it up. That didn't pull it up. Okay, that's whack. Let me do this. James Chief. Here we go. So this is one of his sons, James, that he showed, right? He was looking for James, Jacob, and Charles. And in here, he said that he was a full-blooded Indian. Okay. So there's multiple cues to keep in mind as we read. They had Indians enslaved. Notice too, they had an Indian chief enslaved and his children. Now that's something to think about. Now, when I first read this through before, you just start to think, oh man, they were some freedmen, and here they all talking about being slave. Maybe we was Africans. Well, no, my family, at least a couple of people in my family noticed certain cues to be like, no. We was Indians, we was full bloods, we was chiefs, all in the same set within the same people. But they were slaves. But yes, we do know that. Who was taken to Oklahoma? Some people who were slaves, they want to say Africans, but some slaves was taken, some orphans was taken, some women and children whose parents was now all whose dad was off or whatever, they were taken. So just keep that in mind. So let's say they were enslaved in the Choctaw and Chickasaw Indians in different locations, And in those territories, and I will say this too, when they say that they was when they start asking who the person was, they will either say that the dude was a half breed. Many cases he was a half breed or a white person. So like they asked him somewhere in here, was Jackson white Indian, and he was like half breed. Did you go there? Where the Jackson free? Go to Indians, Colasacha, never run off. There's the woman publication somewhere, some damn where. I think it's here's the rest of it. There's the woman mid education. Okay, here it is. Is the woman who just that's the woman who just made the application. He talking about his wife, I think. Uh I think I was wrong. Did you go to Australia? Did you go maybe it was his brother's paperwork that said it. Creek Nation, Stonewall, slave of a fella named Jackson, born in Stonewall. Colasacha said, born in Saturday. You remember when the war broke out? Chickasaw freed the slaves. Did you go away from there? Did you go outside the territory? Where were you in 1865? Did you marry? Wife? Who were you married before? Children? I think James Chew freed the slave. Chickasaw blood, my wife, whatever. It might have been his brothers or further down. I can't remember. One of them. I had to. Is this his brothers? Let me see if this is his brothers. No, that's the same one. Jake, do I have his on here? Let me see. Mitchell. I don't have his on here. I'm gonna have to send his over to here. But long story short, just believe me. Y'all understand. Y'all know I don't be lying. I don't even know why I'm trying to prove it so hard. Let me keep going. Uh, but we met our respective escapes from bondage to the freedom of the federal lines, basically outside of Oklahoma. But left our wives and children's fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters behind, still to endure the severity of their savage masters for till such times as the fortunes of war should bring them relief, as we had hoped. So they said that they took off running and made an escape, as they might have just had a chance. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Like, this is a long time ago. You in field somewhere. They done took a bunch of us up there to Oklahoma on this whole project to try to erase us who we are, have us some working as slaves, have some doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying, and putting us through schools and boarding schools, this and the third, at this time, and in other places we was building towns, don't get me wrong, but in some areas, they had us, according to this, had us down bad, and so they took off running so much so that they had to leave their loved ones behind, and they're like, hey man, we hope that the war had just completed, because as y'all had heard, the Buffalo Soldiers, they said, had to go free them because the Indians wouldn't let them go. Like they said, I got to go look more into that story too, but this shows that that's what they were hoping. They said they was hoping that at the end of the war, they were going to be free, but they hadn't been freed. So they're writing in for help. But let's keep going. He said, "Is this the Trail of Tears times period?" Pretty much, yeah. 1860. Well, not really. 1865 would be after Trail of Tears. This is Civil War time period. So yeah. This would be 30 years or so after the so-called Trail of Tears. Some of my family members showed that they got up there around the 1840s, but they say it started as early as 1830 or a little bit before 1830. the Trail of Tears. But we also got this YT lady who's a Choctaw Indian that says she ain't really hear much about the Trail of Tears. Says some people went to go look at it in Tahlequah, and I'm like, how do you go look at it in Tahlequah? I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe niggas was passing by. I don't know, but okay. But it says, to our sad disappointment and regret, the war is now apparently ceased, and a general peace amongst the white and red men is agreed upon and generally adhered by those two races. And yet our dear ones are still held and tyrannized over in a most cruel manner by their former masters, since the right of property in our race has been abolished by the US government. Since the right of property in our race has been abolished by the US government, these savage masters have become more, let's see, what the hell? Come on now. Scroll up. What the hell? All right. Have become ill feeling, I think, or ill will, ill something feeling, and brutal in their treatment to us. So basically, since the United States basically allowed them to start purchasing land, they said they've become even more brutal to their treatment with us. Now, think about this. One of those talking points that them natives used to say is, we treated you so good as our slaves in Oklahoma. So good. We was just nice enough to give you land. Well, according to this, it looks like them white T folks didn't really like giving us no damn land. There's some damn fake ass Indians. But let's keep going. It says, our color is by them despised. In many instances, they have driven their former servants from under driven their former servants under something and murdered them for very light provocations. There is at the time many families grew quartered. Okay. So there are at the time many families quartered in old outsheds, others in the wood shelters, at the mercy of the elements, and have no base the scoffs or something and scorn, the scoffs and scorns and insults of all that all that something per to offer such indemnities to them. They are friendless, and shit. Sometimes it'd be hard to read these little cursives. But from what they were saying, basically, like they said that they had them in outhouses, and they was where they stand in bad conditions. Basically, they unalived maybe some of them. Says they searching in miserable conditions at this time, and yet the Indians will not suffer them to leave the binds of or the bounds. No, leave the something of their country, probably bounds or binds or limits to leave the limits. I see it, to leave the limits of their country, or suffer us to go. So then relief. Excuse me, I felt that one coming on. Excuse me. Nothing like a good sneeze to clear your nostrils, though. The Indians are more cruel to the relatives of those who fled to the federal lines and bore arms against them in mercy the war than they are to others. In mercy of the war than they are to others. So basically, they're saying that those Indians that did try to go and fight against them and took up arms with the United States against the Indians, they don't look at them too well. Now, damn it. I thought I blacked that out. God damn it. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Yeah, damn it. The Indian nations passed a law at the commencement of the late war, sentencing every colored person to immediate death who attempted to escape from their country. Whenever caught on their soil, this law is being at this time vigorously enforced, where they can secure a violator. Of our many of our something have gone into the Indian country in pursuit of their respective friends. So many of the people went in there in pursuit of their respective friends, but none as of yet have returned. All have been unalived by the Indians. So they sent people in there. And now, who are the Indians at this time in Oklahoma? 109,000 of them were YT folks. So get that through your mind first. Okay. So it's the YT folks who are instituting harsh laws on the black Indian slaves there, saying if you leave out, you will be unalive. And people that have came in there trying to get they folks have been unalive, stuff it like that. Let's go to the next one. So you will discover that it is out of our power so to do anything for the relief of our suffering and dejected friends now residing in the limits of those nations, since we come to you Burrow King something Burrow King and being broke something and being and begging for relief and begging, I guess they're supposed to be begging relief for our suffering people. So and this is pretty sad, but yeah, it's like they took off running at the chance that they got, and they was hoping at the end of the war that relatives was gonna be released. They done sent some folks in there to try to get their relatives out. They done got unalive, so they don't want to take the chances. So they said, "Hey, let's try this bullshit ass Freedmen's Bureau. These niggas say they supposed to help us." Okay, it says we have allied to the military commander Brig General to the military commander Brig General whatever his name H.J. Hunt, who is in command of the U.S. troops of this something department of this department. Yeah. Who states that he is powerless in the something and advise us to make our complaint known to your department, paying your assistance in or something your assistance in goodness gracious something the desired relief for our people, procuring the desired relief for our people. We want no yeah, we won't hear or we would hear that we won't hear respectfully take occasion to briefly not briefly, something. It looks like briefly. Something the following. It is a distance of about 160 miles from this military post to where our people reside. If this commander could be ordered to demand our people of the Indians, we believe that the Indians would permit them to come to come something and see here take occasion to state that we have succeeded well in all our enterprise and various pursuits in a subsidiary joint something we believe we have sufficient means to support our people if they were here in our custody. So basically they're saying, hey, we've done really good things in our life to where we feel like we can have we can have our kids in our custody. um it's almost like they're pleading to a family court. It says we mentioned this to should the governor assist us in securing to ourselves our relatives that we can provide for them for their wants and thereby prevent them from becoming pamper something of the government, hampers on the government. But basically saying, try to just express that they can take care of these people. They can take care of their folks. I think just the last page. Unless the governor interferes and enter something in our on our behalf, this master or this matter will we will never be able to abolish our desire. I think that's what it said. We are powerless in our something. We have here to offered or offended, either offered or offended, a list or offered a list of names and locations of the persons who are relatives and that are we desire to come to our location and that we wish the government to demand in war or to demand not in war marked exhibit A. Now in conclusion, permit us to say in all candor and sincerity and truth that we are not masters of language powerful enough to express our uh, heartfelt gratitude and gratefulness of our heaven-born governor for the great. They just groveling at this point, but I understand though. Which they blah 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 blah, and it's got all these names and X marks. Okay, Bushy Head, Brown, Thompson, Kemp, Fisher, Kemp, Gardner, maybe Thompson, Colbert, Watkins. Okay, so I mean there was a lot, but I wanted y'all to see that. Now we're gonna go back a little bit before. Now that's the letter itself, and then you get to the end and they list the families. But I could have just ended there. Like this thing is full of 1,000 plus something links. I just started clicking before, and I realized that some of these actually precede the whole thing. Let me my bad. Let me see what y'all been saying over here. So it's traders, Sodomist Traders Council. Wow. Broken and begging. Oh, that's what they were saying. Broken and begging. The letter in English and cursive writing, the spelling is. And I'm not gonna read through these, but I'm just gonna explain. When I started looking through these, um, when I started looking through these, they start talking about they're corresponding back and forth. You got a guy they're saying that these same people that wrote that last letter, they had tried to pay somebody to go up there and try to help them get the folks out, and then people took their money and didn't even try. They had they was trying many different things, and then eventually they got to somebody who got the letter that I just read you. That person apparently went into that Indian territory, found the folks, and then reported on each one of them and what they were doing to show that they were alive. And I at least know that they somewhat truthful because my folks were still alive to be around for the Dawes Rolls in 1906. But the thing is, I don't know if they ever got reunited with their dad. And I don't even know what happened to the mom, to be honest with you. So there's still a gap. And unless I can get that information from my family, I don't know exactly if we're really gonna find that answer. I mean, don't get me wrong, just gotta keep looking sometimes. But I think there might be something sinister in between. Maybe not. Maybe he left and I don't know. I don't know. Because for Jake and James to be at the Dawes Rose Commission, it doesn't mean it possibly means that they've been living in Oklahoma from 1865 when this letter was written up until 1904, 1902 when the Dawes Rose Commission. So that's another 40 years that they stayed there even after their dad was trying to get him. Now I will say this too. They were like age 9 and 12 at the time. So the harsh laws may not have affected them so much. Like, if they run away, they get alive. They maybe probably wasn't gonna try to run away anyways at 9 and 12 years old. And that was at 1865. They was younger than that when they were there. So I just wanted to read through that. I'm pretty much done for the night. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I didn't really have a whole lot. I wanted to go through that whole thing with the Oklahoma thing, and this letter was a cool little thing for y'all to see. To get just the both of these were eyewitnesses, to be honest. And I didn't even think didn't even try that, but both of these were eyewitnesses. One visually, I mean, told us by audio what she saw. So many black kids, so many full blood black Indians that it scared her, and she had to get a hold of her mama. And then you got the other one, which is he's a chief, he's a freedman chief Indian, with his son saying he's a full blooded Indian, but his son is being held captive by YT so-called Indians at the time, and instituting harsh laws, things of that nature. And this is eyewitness accounts during that time. So things aren't what they always say that they are, and it is what it is. So I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all might even be kicking it on the game right now. I guess I'm gonna go check in and see what it's talking about. But I appreciate y'all, man. Said this letter in English and cursive writing and spelling is excellent. The family was not illiterate. That's true. I didn't think about it. That's true. Yeah, the people that put that together, they definitely knew what they were doing. You found all those letters in Family Search. Yeah, much love, Nikki. Much love. Appreciate that. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody had already saved that first thing I showed you from Family Search into my family's ancestry, and then when I went to the actual letter, started clicking back, I could actually read the actual letter. I was like, oh, there's actually more shit here. I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, Catnap, man. And appreciate all of y'all for being here, man. I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna holler back at y'all.